EA just announced a huge update to just about every game mode in Madden 26, including new coaching adjustments, improvements to blocking and defense, as well as patches to some of the most annoying exploits in the game. So if you want to learn everything that changed in Madden 26, stick around after the intro. If you guys are looking for fast, cheap, reliable MUT coins, check out my coin sponsors at MMOXP.com and use discount code MONEYSHOT for 6% off your order. Link in the description below. The champ is here! Welcome back, Money Team. This is Mad Money Shot, sniffing up the Madden cheese as always. In today's video, we just got a massive update announced by EA. A lot of this stuff is going to be similar to what they announced in the college football update that I made a video about last week. So if you saw that, there will be a couple of things that are going to be duplicates because anytime they introduce something game-breaking in college, they typically bring it over to Madden. So I'm going to get into all that, but there's also a lot of things that they changed very specific to Madden. A lot of exploits that people were doing in Madden that you won't be able to do anymore. But before I do, if you guys want to see more videos like this, please make sure to be a subscriber, hit the like button, let me know in the comment section. Oh, that's going right into the video. Now, the first thing I want to go over is some new coaching adjustments that were already added to College Football 26, namely on offense. Probably the best coaching adjustment to use on offense when this is implemented is going to be the ability to set your default pass protection scheme to whatever you want. So if you're coming out and you're constantly setting at the base, you don't have to do that anymore because in your coaching adjustments you can set at the base. Although I went over in a video just yesterday that I think empty is the best way to go. It's better than base in my opinion, especially when it comes to covering stunts and twists. So if you guys didn't see that, you want to learn more about blocking, I will have a video that I put out just yesterday popping up on screen at the end of the video, as well as popping up in the top right hand corner right now. Now they also have a new coaching adjustment on defense, or at least they added the ability to set the safety depth to 16 yards, which before was really just like up too close or like prevent. So there really wasn't a ton of things that really need to change there. Another thing when it comes to defense too that was in the college football update is they updated how hook defenders react when it comes to playing over the top or playing underneath. So if you just play over the top and think you're just changing your flats, or you play underneath and you basically just think you're hard flatting, now your hook defenders are going to play at 5-yard depths on an underneath play, and if you're playing over the top, they're going to play to 12 to 18 yards. But now I'm going to go over some stuff that's new to Madden, starting off with some gameplay exploits. The biggest one that they talk about is that they patched air trucking, which if you guys didn't watch the Challenge Championship or you haven't seen pro players, it's completely broken to the point where you get an artificial speed boost every single time that you use the truck. So they basically nerfed that, and it says here in a dev note where it says the truck animations and transitions from truck to locomotion have been modified to more accurately reflect the movement speed of the ball carrier as the truck ends, and the transition has been tuned to keep the speed more consistent. So who knows if they just stop whatever they're doing here, if it's just going to break air trucking or if it's going to break trucking in general and make it much less effective. We're going to find out in time, but this is definitely something that is going to make it's going to probably take away air trucking, but it might take away trucking in general if it slows you down too much. Another big exploit that they basically are going to try to take away is they changed the minimum stem down routes from 1 yard to 3 yards, and this is based off the fact that a lot of people are running corner routes from an outside receiver and stemming it all the way down to the point where it can really get open against any man or zone, and I made a video about that as well, but that's going to be dead. It says dev note, when using the route stemming feature, certain stem down routes, particularly corner routes, became too powerful and difficult to fairly and or realistically defend. As a result, the minimum stem depth is now allowed to be 3 yards. The intent of this change is to preserve the structure and timing of the route while enabling more realistic and balanced defensive reactions. So they basically took that away too. Those are two of the biggest exploits that they did cover. They also talk about, says, resolved an issue where auto motion receivers would continue their motion during the quiet the crowd animation. Users can no longer quiet the crowd during auto motion plays. I was surprised that they didn't fix this a little bit sooner in college football. I don't even know if it was in the last patch, but I know it wasn't mentioned. But it's being mentioned here in Madden, so they finally fixed something like that. The 56 player glitch is something that I still don't think they fixed in college football either, where I'll talk about a little bit later, where they did say that they fixed an issue where they were essentially a lot of linemen with the same number of jerseys or something like that, where it says right here, it says fixed a rare issue causing some players in online rosters to appear with generic player models and wearing the incorrect uniform numbers, such as multiple players wearing 11 or 22. This is something that's in college, once again, that I don't think they fixed. The 56 player glitch has been a glitch since last year. But let's go over and let's go through some of the other more small things now that I think we'll go over the major things. We have a lot of things changing when it comes to pass protection once again. It says fixed an issue sometimes causing the pass protection adjustment menu to get stuck in an open state after selecting pass adjustment. It says made improvements to blocking logic for better targeting and improved protection on shotgun play actions, which sometimes they'll just let a guy in free on a play action play, and if they guessed pass, it'll sack the quarterback. But if they didn't guess anything, it'll usually take out the play action running back. But like I said, a lot of people guess pass depending on when you use it and what situation you're using that in. It says tuning done to shorten the wait time after failed pass rush moves to improve pocket degradation over time. And it also says enhance QB contain logic to ensure defenders contain more effectively. I just saw somebody complaining about this today, where they were saying that QB contains just don't work. It says dev note, this was a two-part fix where we fixed disengage from blocks in pursuit of quarterbacks scrambling outside the pocket. For the second part, we resolved an issue where defenders would incorrectly abandon their contain assignment in favor of executing pass rush moves. So yeah, so they're making two different changes to the logic when it comes to QB contains, meaning that they should be much better, as you can run with the quarterback just way too easily in this game. And I'm going to go over that more in a second as well. It says address an issue with pass rush move selection logic to reduce excessive use of rip moves and ensure more realistic ratings-driven behavior, defender behavior. Now, there's also some stuff here in the run game that they said they fixed, where it says decrease the frequency of power non-engaged sheds on run plays, added shed timers for defenders who lost their previous defensive move on passing plays, which I guess means that if they tried to shed on a pass play and they lost, they're going to be a little bit slower to react on the following play when it comes to shedding against a run play, which is interesting. It says edge defenders now steer towards their outside gap for longer to help set the edge on run plays. So running the ball was already not too easy, and they're making it a little bit more difficult with that, basically steering the defenders to the edge, which is not great. I'm going to continue to go over these by what I think are areas of importance. It says fix an issue preventing the appropriate frequency of catch knockouts when throwing to a receiver covered by multiple defenders. It says dev note, this was the main issue leading to receivers holding onto aggressive catches too much in crowds when the ball should have been knocked out. With this update, outcomes on aggressive catch attempts now more accurately reflect the ratings and physical matchups of the players involved when there is a collision at the catch point. Now, this is something they also did in college, so basically it's just gonna nerf rocket catching, aggressive catching in crowds, which I think all people are really cool with because it's kind of overpowered in the game. Now, another exploit, I guess they feel like people are flipping plays too quickly or making adjustments too quickly. So it says updated logic so the offense cannot instantly flip the play or audible to a new formation when walking to the line from the huddle. There's a lot of stuff here about how you basically try to slow down adjustments. It says standardize the hot route timer for all QBs when breaking the huddle. Dev note, this new timer also applies to how long users need to wait after flipping a play or audibly to a new formation, which I just mentioned. Stemming a route also counts as a hot route when breaking the huddle. Signature animations for players like Mahomes now have consistent responsiveness, resulting in all quarterbacks having the same hot route timing cadence. So somebody can't just come out and make 1,000 hot routes. There is a trick too where if you switch to a formation, a different formation, you can hot route faster, you can audible faster. So I wonder if that's part of it, because they don't mention that here. Now, they talk about in the animations and visuals how they fixed a lot of warping, whether it was people warping back to their feet or sometimes the ball warping in certain formations, stuff like that, small stuff. Now, there were some changes in franchise mode too, mostly to having players playing out of position, which seems to be fatigue based. So they fixed that, where they're saying that the nose tackle specifically and just other certain players will be playing out of position because of the wear and tear management causing that to happen. So they fixed that. They talk about importing draft classes as well, where apparently player body types were getting messed up and also being generated sometimes with certain draft classes where the player body types were getting messed up. They tried to address that. They talk about how a lower back strain was a career-ending injury. They talk about basically trying to fix that, as well as the biggest one here, where it's something that they haven't fixed yet, but it says we're aware of an existing case when a head coach leaves the league, the computer automatically promotes the team's existing offensive or defensive coordinator without hiring a backfill. It says they're investigating that for a future title update. So that's something that may sound like certain people can't get control of a team because they're filling it with the computer. So I'm not sure if that's being an issue for a lot of people, but that sounds like a bigger issue than the ones that they addressed. For Ultimate Team, the biggest one is probably, I mean, there's a lot of small things here that I'm not going to bore you with, but the biggest one is probably, it says that they corrected an issue where punters and kickers displayed inflated overall values when placed at quarterback. That was something that they also fixed in College Football 26, so apparently it was a bigger issue. I know that in the past, somebody won the Madden Challenge Championship using a punter or a quarterback as their quarterback. It was a punter or a kicker they were using as quarterback, and that was one of the years where you could really only run the ball anyway, and all they were doing was running the ball. It was a total weird year for Madden. They made a lot of changes too when it comes to the likeness of players. As I'm not going to read all these names out, but I will have them on screen. A lot of them are rookies. As you can see, we have guys like Michael Williams, Luther Burden, Shamar Stewart, Maxwell Harrison, Jade Barron, Quinshon Judkins. This really just seems like a ton of rookies. Jahad Campbell in there, as I see for the Eagles, but it's really just a lot of rookie players. And then they also have Mike Tomlin, who's definitely not a rookie. He's been in the league for forever. He's also getting some likeness. But so you can see that they did a lot of work to get a lot of the high-profile rookies into the game, as well as adding a new song from Limp Bizkit and Morgan Wallen, which I can't even say that I know that song off the top of my head. So I'm going to end the video there, but if you guys want to learn more about blocking, like I said earlier in the video, I'll have that pop up on the screen. So just click the links. And until next time, thanks for watching, man. My shit out. Need more help or just want to show your support? Then head over to my Patreon and join my team, where you can get exclusive content like ebooks and bonus plays, as well as early access to my vids and more. Link in the description below.